Hey everyone, and welcome to the PHNX Suns podcast, brought to you by DraftKings, America's top sportsbook app in the world. Well, I guess America and the world. You get it. It's the best sportsbook app there is out there. What can I say?
In the world.
But if you are a new customer and you sign up today using the code PHNX and you place just a $1 bet on any NFL team and either of those teams scores a point, you are going to win $100 in free bets instantly. I'm Lindsey Smith, and today I've got Saul Bookman by my side.
Hello.
Saul, what's going on?
It's just us two again.
I know.
It's starting to be a theme here. I don't know what's going on.
Everyone's just they're just too busy for us.
They are too busy.
It is what it is.
Espo would have joined us, but unfortunately he had something he had to take care of, and so we respected that, of course. And Gerald is off gallivanting around the arena, covering the Suns and the Mercury later on today. So, good for him. And,
yeah.
He was going to stop by in the show, but the Wi-Fi is not very good there, and so he opted otherwise.
It's a bummer. And thank you, everyone, for joining us. We've already got some people in the chats right now. Long John Silver, why are we starting this at the same time as the game? Well, because the game is not being broadcast today, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah, and it's a preseason game, so I don't care.
Yeah, so, the one good thing that is coming out of it is that Devin Booker is playing, so
here's my
that's
question,
some positive movement, I guess.
If you don't like the game being on at the same time we're on, then why are you watching us?
Because he loves us.
That's
He's a
my
supporter.
point. We trump it all. Let's go.
He's the homie. But if you are watching, our tip topic of the day is an Ask Me Anything. If you guys have questions, feel free to drop them in the chat.
You anything.
Us. Ask us anything.
I'm sure there's a lot of questions out there about your life, Lindsey.
No, I'm not that excited.
Lindsey lives a life of secrecy.
I do. I keep it real close to the chest, real
does.
tight. Well, one big thing that happened in the last handful of days is more movement on the Deandre Ayton contract situation. There's something going on. So,
you think so?
Well,
if that something doesn't equal a contract in hand,
it doesn't count for
then
anything.
it doesn't matter.
This is true.
It's just all fake hustle.
Well, TMZ just dropped a bomb on their website with some photos of Deandre Ayton and Robert Sarver meeting at a fancy AZ resort amid contract, quote unquote, feud, is how they're dubbing it. And they have photos of the two of them outside just having a powwow. What do you think was happening in that powwow?
I don't know. I think this was on Monday, allegedly, according to the story. I think at the end of the story it says Monday, and if I'm wrong on that, I apologize.
No, it says Monday in the story.
So Monday, so Monday they met. Then yesterday, the DA comes out and talks about how he's...
I'll read you the quote. I got to pull
Go
it
ahead. Go ahead and say
I just really want to be respected. To be honest, be respected like my peers are being respected by their teams.
And so you have to believe that if the meeting was on Monday and he comes out and says it on Tuesday, that meeting on Monday probably wasn't the most positive thing for DA, because then he comes out on Tuesday and says what he says. And listen, it's clear that DA is unhappy.
Right.
Like, we know that. However, what is the spectrum of his unhappiness, and can it be rectified by giving him his worth? The market has already dictated what his worth is. That is undeniable. Like, you cannot fight that part. He needs to get paid. They are protesting outside the Suns practice facility from 12 to 1 o'clock today.
I saw some fans, or I saw one fan who's tried to get it going.
This reminds me about 20 years ago, or not 20 years ago, I think about 15 years ago, Darnell Dockett was in the same situation and wanted to get paid. He wanted to get paid. He was Cardinals defensive tackle, and everybody started with these pay 9-0 chants, and there was flyers and there was posters and everything like that. And ultimately they took care of Darnell Dockett. I wonder if the same impact, if you're James Jones, if you're Robert Sarver, you have to be able to hear the chatter in the league saying, like, dude, you got to pay DA. Like, even Chris Paul during the Western Conference Finals was like, that dude just earned himself a bag. You know what I mean? Like, you got to pay the guy. I don't even understand what's going on right now.
It's interesting too because our guy Cam Cox put out an interview that he had with Robert Sarver last night on Twitter, and the little snippet that he shared kind of showed Robert, to an extent how I took it. Robert implied that it was in James Jones's hands, that he was kind of like not involved. I don't know how I feel about that, because is that like it taking the easy way out by saying, oh, my general manager is taking care of it? Did he give James Jones the go-ahead to give him whatever he wants, and James is trying to negotiate whatever he thinks is the best option there? Like, that confused me a little bit.
It's just odd. It's just very, very odd, you know. And this, again, like, this kind of goes, it just kind of goes to show like the level of involvement Robert Sarver has with this team and has had since he's joined the Suns and become the owner of the Suns. Like, that's what's making everybody so damn nervous. Like, Darth Void is saying, are we making too much of this story? He will get paid. Fact. We want it now. Let the Suns figure out the incentives and kickers. We have 5 days. And it's very rare. And I appreciate the comment. It's very rare for a max contract deal to take this long and be so close to the season. Usually, Devin Booker got his in July during the summer league.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's just not how they operate. So if Robert Sarver was willing to pay, Devin Booker at that time, why isn't he willing to do it to DA now? You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of how I feel about it.
What does this one say? We don't want to be,
Thunderstorm
said, we don't want to be Philly and Ben Simmons. Facts. We do not want to be in that situation. So we shared the Deandre Ayton quote on our Twitter page at PHNX_Suns today. And there was some chatter in there. Obviously, there is still 5 days left to negotiate. So a lot can happen within. But we asked the question, is this something, nothing, or everything? And I would say the vast majority of people are like, it's something, that's for sure. It's definitely not nothing. And it has the potential to become everything.
Listen, if we get to the season and DeAndre Ayton doesn't have an extension, hell, even at this point, if he does have an extension, every move DA makes, everybody's going to question whether or not it's because it's salary related or is it because the contract negotiations really. If he has a bad game, DA's not motivated again. He's not doing this. He's not doing that. Or
he's focused on the contract.
Or it's going to be, see what the Suns did to DA. They completely screwed him. Like, if he gets the contract, and he has a bad game, it's because he got paid. Now he's resting on his laurels and blah, blah, blah. It's just like, both entities right now are in a lose-lose situation because of how this is played out. And this leads to something that could have been avoided.
I'm just reading the chat here. Herbie says, I feel like Champ was thrown under the bus. LOL. I don't know. What do you make of that? Because we kind of touched on it a little bit, but what do you think?
I don't know.
That's
honestly,
a tough one to read because I genuinely have no idea exactly how it's going down.
James Jones has done such a great job of managing the team
and
so
he
far.
Hasn't given out a bad contract yet.
Not yet. It only takes one, though.
This is true.
So I don't know what to think about that.
And then Darth Voida said, agreed, it's something, as Saul's take on fall off the bone ribs.
Red flags.
As is Saul's. Sorry.
Yeah.
Red flags.
I put that on Twitter today. And fall off the bone.
That's
ribs.
A red flag for you?
Yeah, because you can boil your fucking ribs and get them to fall off the bone. That doesn't mean they taste great.
Okay. Well,
this is also triggering Jacob because
our producer Jacob is having an issue right now.
Because Jacob said, my mom makes fall off the bone ribs. Oh, and then I tweeted that.
You just threw his mom under the bus.
Sorry, Jacob's mom.
You can't say they're bad unless you try.
Jacob's mom. Sorry.
Oh my God. So Phoenix Suns 22 in the chat said maybe Sarver wants a bigger sample size from Ayton.
It's always an if. It's always an if.
So, but within that context, if they do want a bigger sample size, how much bigger? I guess
again,
is the question. Like what has to be done in order to justify a max? You can't
constantly move the goalposts. You know what I mean? Like you can't constantly move the goalposts. We see that too much in this country right now, as it is in sports and in other endeavors. Like, stop moving the goalposts. If you say this should happen, and if this happens, then this is the result or the reward, then you have to stick to it. Everybody had been clamoring for DA to play big. When they got to the playoffs, everybody was like, well, it's going to be hard to trust the Suns if they don't really have a defensive presence. And, I don't, can you really trust DA to play 35 minutes and be a end all be all on the defensive side and a rim protector? And he went into the playoffs and he fucking did it. Like, he did it every single game. And so he got abused by Giannis. So did everybody else. Nobody was going to stop Giannis in the finals. Like, let's be real about that. So you got to stop moving the goalposts and say, well, if he does this, and then if he does this. No. Is he doing what his peers have been doing? And when you're talking about playoff performance, and really the entire season overall, he was a phenomenal team player. He played solid defense all season. He did everything that the team asked him to do, and then he took it another level in the defense in the playoffs. What more do you want from him outside of the accolades that everybody gets? You gave MPJ, the Nuggets gave MPJ a max deal. MPJ hasn't done shit. So I don't even want to hear about Deandre Ayton. Like, Deandre Ayton has done more than MPJ has in his career. Reward that man. And yes, Booker is playing right now. He started.
Yes, for sure. Okay, so one thing that did really stand out to me from him yesterday after practice, where that quote came from, that he wanted to be respected like his peers. And maybe it's just because it's been a minute since we've... Dude, I don't even want to hear that, Phoenix Suns 22. I love you, but 3 dudes just got max deals, and they were all non-all-stars. The only all-star that got a max deal was Luka. Trae Young's never made an all-star game, and neither have the other two, MPJ and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. So that's irrelevant. Just for some context, in case you're just listening later on, that was in response to a chat comment that said, it's hard to give a max to a non-all-star. Okay, so back to my original thing. At practice yesterday, right now. Just breathe. Woosah. You got this. Deandre sounded so different in that interview yesterday. Yeah. Like, not to say that he doesn't sound mature, but I don't know. I just felt some type of way when I heard the way that he was speaking. It was just very matter of fact. It just gave me bad vibes. Like, it wasn't your happy-go-lucky, like,
Lindsey,
figure it out, the agent's got it kind of chat that we normally see from Deandre. And I didn't appreciate that feeling that he put off within the way that he was talking yesterday.
I mean, Lindsey, think about it. Like, we've all been in a situation where we think we are overperforming in our jobs, and we feel like we should be compensated fairly. And if you bring it up, maybe you get smacked down, or you're told, well, yeah, we want to wait and see on this, or, all these other factors or parameters that are newly created so that way they don't have to pay you. Like, everybody's been in that situation, or a lot of us have been in that situation. Like, no, in today's day and age, especially when you're looking at what happened through COVID and people figuring out that they can still work from home, that they can find other jobs and other careers at other companies that will pay them commensurate for their work experience and, their professional development. Like, that's why people leave their jobs and they go somewhere else. And this is exactly what's happening here, is if you don't appreciate what DA is doing for you, DA is going to find somewhere else to go.
Well, and Espo brought up something we've been talking about since this whole thing started. Locker room chemistry is a delicate beast, is what he tweeted out today in response to this quote from Deandre. And a lot of people are saying, well, this has nothing to do with Monty or his teammates. This is, a James Jones, Robert Sarver agents situation. But there is a trickle-down effect, regardless if the people in that locker room are actually a part of the negotiation process or the decision-making process, it's going to affect Deandre mentally, and it's going to have an effect on if it does affect him a lot mentally, it will have an effect on that locker room.
Oh, 1,000,000%. You can't tell me otherwise. You know, you don't think CP3 sees what's going on and is like, you know, I got paid. I thought they were going to take care of my guy. You know, man, this is just a bad precedent overall. If the guys in that locker room truly love DA, they're going to take this personally as well. And they're going to start to second guess any future moves that they make within the organization. At least the younger guys. The older guys, they're kind of coming to the end of it anyway. But, man.
This is a tough one. I don't really have much else to say about it, to be honest with you. I know you have a lot of opinions on this. We all do.
Yes.
Sun's Twitter this is just like a heavy mess of Sun's Twitter.
It is.
And I don't blame anybody for being upset about it.
Yeah, for sure. And I do stand corrected. Phoenix did mention that Trae Young was the starter in his first year, and you were right. You were absolutely correct about that. I stand corrected. However, MPJ and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander haven't come close to all-star caliber, and they got rewarded. So I will say that.
So John just asked in the chat, is there any reason why the Suns cannot sign him? It's to a max. So that's something I have seen brought up, and if only Gerald was here, since he's the brains, the numbers guy.
Sure.
Is there a legitimate monetary reason to not give Deandre the max? Okay.
No. There's no monetary reason, especially on the heels of another TV surplus coming, the league's way. The Suns are going to make more money here shortly. So DA's contract should not factor into this whatsoever. I just, and all the good teams, for the most part, have 3 max contracts on their roster. So I just don't. This feels like it should have been the most open and shut case, but here we are talking about that. This is a reality that we might be looking at here in a year. That okay, so now he's gonna have to go through this, and they have rights. He's gonna be a restricted free agent if they don't extend him. And, any team can match an offer, and who knows whether it's going to be at that point. Who knows what the contract offers are going to be, or what the Suns will match, or any of that stuff. It's just not good to keep people in a place where they don't want to be. So even if they get to that point, if DA is already like, I want the F out, do you really want to keep him here against his will? And that's the road it feels like we're going down.
Well, and then you can have a whole nother tweet debacle situation come up, and that's the last thing we need. And it sucks, too, because Deandre started yesterday after the first question. I believe the first thing he said was, man, I love Phoenix. And you know he does.
Yeah,
you can tell, he has embraced his community so much, and it would be so disappointing to have that relationship fall apart over some dollars that shouldn't even be an issue. And then the other thing is, too, is that poor Mikal. He's just chilling out on an island, too, trying to figure out his stuff. And you know that nothing's going to get at least announced with Mikal. Maybe not even signed with Mikal until Deandre's is figured out.
Oh, man, I don't even know what's going on with Mikal. To be honest with you, this is probably the first time it feels like James Jones might be bungling this, or Sarver is bungling this. It wouldn't be the first time for Sarver, obviously, but there's just so much still left to be determined. I just don't even. I am almost flabbergasted that we are in this situation, because it seemed like 2 relatively simple deals to put together. The market was set for Ayton. The market, for the most part, has already been set for Mikal as well. You thought, okay, 4 years, maybe 90, maybe even up to 100 for Mikal, the max deal for DA, and you're good to go. Wrap it up, and then you can worry about Cam next year. Now we're sitting here and we're like, man, I don't know what's going to happen. If they don't sign Mikal, oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, my God. I don't even want to think about that right now.
Yeah, I mean, that's the hard part with all of this, is that everyone's like, can we just not? Nobody wants to have this feeling. 3-4 weeks ago, I didn't say it out loud, but I was thinking in my head, I was like, man, it feels really nice to have an off season where there is no drama surrounding my team right now. And Thankfully, I mean, obviously I didn't say it, but I still thought it too soon. Okay, one final thing, and then we'll kind of maybe move on a little bit, if you don't mind. David in the chat said, Ayton still has a ton of trade value, so even if he forced his way out, the Suns will be fine. For me, yeah, sure, the Suns might be fine. Do you really want that, though?
How are the Suns going to be fine? You're going to trade DA for what? Who are you going to get in replacement for DA? Like, there's just not very many big men out there.
Yeah, I mean, if you're talking like
that you're going to get to replace
position
him.
for position, maybe not necessarily.
No, you would have to do it like because you're getting another like superstar caliber player at a different position, because you're not getting a superstar caliber player at his position. Because then why the hell would you be trading him? You know what I mean? And Dan Bickley actually, and I loved what he said this morning. He was doing his Bickley Blaster or whatever they call it on 98.7, and he said, this is the reason why it's hard sometimes to be a Suns fan, is because you get emotionally invested. They had such a run, and we were all so emotional about it because we were like, yes, this is fantastic. I miss this. I miss Suns being competitive. And you get close to your team all over again just to get burned. And that's what it feels like for a lot of people right now, is that it's just we all are emotional about this kind of stuff because we want this to keep going. It was such a fun ride last year. Why end it now? And why end it for something that seems on paper to be a simple,
like a no-brainer.
Easy no-brainer? Yes.
Yeah. And then the other thing too is that like you ask people, you want people to become emotionally invested in your team and your players. So you can't have your cake and eat it too. You can't ask people not to be emotionally invested when it comes to things like this, but to be emotionally invested when it comes to paying for tickets, going to games, watching games on TV, supporting your team in all the ways that are revenue gaining. So you're either all in or you're all out. Like you can't only be emotionally invested in small pieces of a team if you truly, truly care about it.
Yeah, no, it's tough because like I said, we're all invested, and you can't pick and choose your spots. It's just, and unfortunately, the ones that are making the decisions, like sometimes it sucks to be a fan because you have no control over anything. You have no control of the game. You have no control of the decisions that the front office is making, and it kind of sucks. But that's kind of the pill you take to swallow, because that's just how it is to be a fan.
Hey Phoenix, you hit the nail on the head. I waited over a decade for the Suns to be good. Have spent thousands on tickets and merch. We deserve to have good things. Damn it, I feel you. All right, Saul. So let's talk a little bit of gambling. You're a gambling man. What would you odds, or I don't know how this works, but that the deal gets done by the deadline on Monday? What are you saying?
I think 2 weeks ago we would have said, I probably would have put it at, a minus 100 or a minus 1,000 that it was going to get done, because I thought it was going to be a done deal. Like I thought it was a no-brainer. Right now, and I said this last week, I do not have a good feeling about this. And right now, I feel like it is probably like a plus 4,000.
Dang.
I feel like it is so far away, and it's not going to happen before the season. I don't think DA and Mikal will both be signed before we start the season.
Well, you in the chat kind of agree. A lot of people are like, if I was a gambling man, I wouldn't bet on this one either. And yes, this is a transition to DraftKings. Herbie, thank you so much. Again, as a reminder, we are brought to you by DraftKings. And if you sign up for the DraftKings Sportsbook app today and you use the code PHNX and you place just a $1 bet on any NFL game and either team scores 1 point, it doesn't matter. As long as it's not a 0-0 tie, you are going to win $100 in free bets instantly. And the last time there was a 0-0 tie in the NFL, it was 1943. So I would say this is a no-brainer bet. And within the DraftKings app, you can also get some skin in the game with same game parlays, which I'm still a little shaky on because that one's a little tough one. I get the concept, but to be able to make those bets, I feel like you have to have a lot of knowledge, or do you just get lucky?
No, it's the same thing as picking a game, right? Like when you like the Nuggets and Suns, like if they have an in-game parlay for, not only who's going to win, but also if you think Devin Booker is going to score more than 20 points, and if Chris Paul will have more than 10 assists, like you can bet on those things, and cumulatively they give you bigger odds if you can get them all right, and you get a bigger payout. So it's not very difficult.
All right. Well, maybe I'll dabble in it a little bit this season once things get rolling. Could be kind of fun. So once again, a reminder, when you sign up for the DraftKings Sportsbook app, use code PHNX to get some money in free bets if you place just a $1 bet on any NFL game this week and they score just 1 point, either team. That's 21 and older only, Arizona only. Gambling problem, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. New customers only. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details.
Gerald is at the game right now, and he's been doing some player profiles and season preview type stuff. So have we. Those videos have started rolling out. So if you haven't checked them out, please check them out on gophnx.com, all across our social media. And you can become a member. And by becoming a member, you get exclusive content. Like some of these player profiles will be behind the paywall. And you'll be able to see, like, they're really cool. They're like NBA jams, graphics, and sounds,
fun.
And they're fun to watch. So please take a step or take some time, I should say, and check that out. It'll be worth your time, I promise you. And also, if you become a member, you can get some free merch. You get a free T-shirt by signing up for an annual membership, or you can sign up for 50 cents for the first month. Check it out, see how it feels, and then go from there.
Yeah, we've been seeing the merch hit social media a lot this week because people are finally receiving their packages, and I'm so stoked that they're stoked about the shirts. They're super soft, you guys. I'm not going to lie. I'm really picky about the T-shirts that I wear, and these ones are solid T-shirts.
Yeah, they're nice and soft. They are not rough. Like I got this cotton shirt on, and it's like thick. It's horrible.
Like, doesn't move with you. It doesn't feel good. Stiff.
But the other ones are nice and fluid. Also, Sunder's Dunks, thanks. He says in the chat, love those player previews. Watch them this morning. Very cool. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Sunder's Dunks. You, the homie. Oh, Jacob's doing a little prayer hands to you right now, our producer, behind the scenes. All right. Let's just transition a little bit because, yes, there is a Suns game happening right now, but later tonight there's also a Mercury game happening. Yep. And one really funny thing that came out yesterday was Brittany Griner's reaction to Diana Taurasi speaking Spanish. How BG didn't realize DT spoke Spanish is beyond me.
Well, has that situation ever come up before?
I mean, they've been teammates for 8 years now? Well, you would think it would come up a little bit, right?
This leads me to my next question, and this is what I want to know. There's got to be something about you, Lindsay, that I just don't know.
Totally. But we haven't been teammates for 8 years yet.
Like, do you know that I know sign language?
No, I didn't, but that's cool.
See?
But we've only been teammates for 8 weeks.
Not 8 years?
Not 8 years.
That's true.
That's a difference.
That's true.
But a lot of people didn't realize that Diana spoke Spanish, and I guess that's just something that we need to do better at. Giving those women more visibility, because I love that she was able to speak Spanish, and she grew up in Argentina.
I don't know if it's necessarily visibility. I just think it's like, did it ever come up? Like, I don't know. Like if Devin Booker just started speaking Spanish all of a sudden, how would I ever know that unless we were in a situation where he would have to speak Spanish? It's not something that just pops up into my head. Like, everybody here at work, I can know you all for 8 years. I don't know who speaks Spanish or a different language.
When did you learn sign language?
My parents are deaf.
Oh, really?
Yeah, both of my parents are deaf, so I'm fluent. Sign language is my first language.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I learned how to speak English by watching TV.
You know, I've heard that's really good, actually, to help you learn a new language, is to watch TV in a different language. Yeah. Like, everyone's telling me, like, I need to be watching novellas in order.
Xena Phoenix asking me to say "we out" in sign language. That's not hard.
Do it again. Let me see.
We out. That's it.
I love that.
I'm not going to start signing every show.
Okay, but no, that would be great. I'm sure there are some Suns fans that, who probably want to have access to things that they don't have access to.
The Milwaukee Bucks actually have a sign language interpreter for every post-game show.
I love that.
On their Bally Sports Wisconsin show, which is kind of cool.
I love that so much.
Because they have a huge deaf population in Milwaukee.
Do they?
Which I did not.
Well, you see all of the interpreters nowadays just going off at concerts, and I love them so much.
There's a lot of preparation for those things, though.
Man,
there's a lot of things that you didn't that you have to sign that you don't use a normal sign. So you have to either create something or you have to figure out how to piece something together so people understand it. But I've seen those rap concerts and I've seen those ladies like going off. And you're like, man, I don't know how you're doing that. Because I was an interpreter out in Mesa before I joined the military for this little kid named Eli. He was in a first grade classroom. He was a mainstream classroom. And it was like, man, trying to help this kid out because his parents all could hear. He was in a classroom of nothing but speaking kids. So he never really saw other kids talk to him like in sign language. And he couldn't see them talk to each other in sign language, which is also the other way that they learn. Completely different tangent, sorry. But anyway, long story short, he went to a different school. I accompanied him to the other school where there was other deaf kids. And to see him grow in like that 3-month span, like it was like another person just showed up because he was like, oh, that's what that means. And this is what this means. Like he was learning sign language too. And it had been like 7 years, it's kind of cool and also kind of sad.
Yeah. I mean, it's awesome that he wound up in a better spot. So at the end of the day, at least we finally got him something. One of my favorite things about this Brittany Griner, Diana Taurasi video is that
facial expressions.
Well, not just that, but every single time she would pick up a word, she would be like, "Oh, I got that one. It's Phoenix. Oh, I got that one. It's Penny."
Because they were like all like the English ones.
Only 3. Yeah. The 3 words. 2 of them were English, and the other one was like baby, but bebe. So you can kind of put that one together pretty easily.
She said Vegas.
And in Vegas. Yeah, that was so funny. Man, I love that so much. And they're playing tonight, and I'm really excited for them. I have a lot of faith that they'll be able to take home the W tonight. Honestly, I think Sunday's game, it was just like we talked about on Monday, a lot of it was just fatigue. And the Sky took advantage of that. They got out there and they just ran. For sure. They did not slow down, especially in that second and third quarter. They took advantage of the fatigue that the Mercury had coming into that game.
Not only that, but I think when you see this team play tonight, they will be refreshed. They will be, especially Diana. I think she'll be a little refreshed. She needs a couple days to kind of recuperate. And I expect them to come out and play very, very well. Plus, Sophie Cunningham is back.
Yes, thankfully.
So that's a big time help, especially from the perimeter. They need that extra scoring from the perimeter. So I would expect a much better performance tonight from the Merc, and hopefully a series tying win.
All right, so there is no good transition here, but would you like to tell the people about Manscaped?
Would you like me to tell the people about Manscaped?
Yes, very much so.
Hey, listen, guys, we already know the drill. You've seen our shows several times. Manscaped, great product. Please use it. You can get 20% off plus free shipping just by using promo code PHNX, because nobody wants a pair of hairy beanbags down there. You want them nice and smooth and taken care of because it's just hygienic and it's just better and it just smells better. So that's my Reader's Digest version of how you should buy Manscaped. You should buy Manscaped. I always want to look at the screen. I meant you. And so, 20% off free shipping just by using promo code PHNX. Use it. You can use the body wash, you can use the lotion, the spritz, they even have t-shirts and underwear that you can purchase as well. I was wearing my t-shirt yesterday.
They sent me a pair of underwear. Yeah. I'm not going to wear them, but
Why
they
not?
Do. Because I feel like I'm probably not going to like them.
Have you?
I will try them out.
I'm wearing them today. I'm not going to show you, but I'm wearing them today. And I literally walked around the bed and I said, "Hey, touch my ass." And my fiance, she was like, "Oh man, that feels really nice." I was like, "I know, they feel really smooth." I feel like I got Victoria's Secret underwear, even though I've never worn Victoria's Secret underwear. I'm just saying, like, they just feel really nice.
Well, I'll try them out.
And it's okay if we want to wear nice underwear, fellas.
Oh,
like,
totally.
I highly encourage you to,
underwear.
Because I tell you what, the cotton underwear that I used to wear back in the day, man, I am never going back. Never go. Because at the end of the day, right, what happens, and all the guys know this, your underwear like stretches out over the course of the day. And like it just looks like you like crapped your pants at the end of the day. It's just not appealing at all. Like, no way. These underwear, they stick, they hold, they're nice, they're breathable, which is very important. And you get some nice airflow in there. And so things don't get too moist.
I mean, like I said, to the touch, they felt nice. And then John in the comments also says they're good. You should try them.
There you go,
so
John. See, John
we'll wrap
knows.
this up by reminding you that you will get 20% off and free shipping when you use the code PHNX at manscaped.com. Cotton ain't it?
Sundress Dunks is
driving slam.
Yeah, he's giving us live tweets. I appreciate it,
Sundress. Thank
you.
Man, Sundress Dunks, you guys, you're the homie. He tagged me in a super cool Halloween house on Twitter yesterday.
I saw that.
And
like a little craftsman?
Yes. Yeah. I want that house so bad.
You like all the
Halloween things. I have a 12-foot.
So for Halloween, are you doing anything like special for the kids?
Well, this year I will be in Mexico City for Dia de los Muertos.
Wow.
And I am beyond excited.
Is it the first time in Mexico City?
No, first time there for Dia de los Muertos. Okay. But I've been to Mexico City a handful of times with the sons. I can't explain to you how excited I am to be there, even though it's probably going to be very different than traditionally, just because we're still following certain protocols and people are still taking things very seriously.
And it's not supposed to be like a celebratory event, right?
No, it is.
I thought it was a little bit more somber though.
Yeah, but it's like a celebration of life.
Because they do that down in Tucson as well. And, and I've been around, and it's not like, hey, it's a party. It's a little bit more subdued.
I think it just depends on the people that you are with and maybe where. Like everyone that I have known to celebrate with, it's always been more a celebration of life. Like, yes, there is some mourning because there are people that you no longer have in your life here with you. But it's more like connecting to those people and still having those great memories and that just love. You know what I mean? So it's not meant to be like a sad thing. It's more, how they kind of go, not to take this down this road or whatever, but you know how people don't talk about like funerals anymore. It's like a celebration of life.
Sure.
So like they're two totally different. Mm-hmm. They're trying to have a little bit of a different vibe, I guess you could say, in those situations as much as you can. But I would kind of explain it like that.
So I had built a desk in my garage. So there was like sawdust and tools everywhere. So I finally cleaned out my garage. My garage is completely empty. And for my entire life, I've always wanted to construct like a walk-in area for kids to come in.
Oh, and make like a haunted house?
Like a haunted house, yeah. Yes. And just absolutely fucking scare the shit out of them.
Yes.
That's my only goal. I want to make a kid cry. That's what I want to do. So I'm going to make a wraparound tunnel, and these kids are going to come in, and I'm going to tell them your candy's on the other side. Hope you make it. And,
I'm with you, though.
I don't care if they're 2 years old or 12. Go through.
I love that so much. Yeah. All right, if you guys are listening, let us know in the comments, like, what's your favorite thing about Halloween or favorite costume? Because we do need some ideas. We might have a costume show here.
Don't come to my house.
He's like, I'm not here for this one.
And you know what's so sad is like, I'm gonna scare these kids, but I'm a big ass baby when it comes to scary movies. You better have
full size candy bars at the end of that.
Oh yeah.
You better have full size candy bars.
You want this Twix? You better go all the way through.
You're so mean. Do you like haunted houses? Have you ever been to one? Or like the farms?
I do. I don't mind them. I mean, I don't like to like, I tighten up, right? And so like I don't like that. But like she literally has a phobia of clowns.
Your fiance?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she will. We went to a haunted house one time. She literally just dropped on the floor when the clown came, and I was like, "Bro, what are you doing? Like, get up!
Are you good?
Like you got to get up! Like." I'm not dragging you. Like she was just like, she was like, I can't move. I was like, oh my gosh, are you serious?
That would be horrible. Oh my God. So. The one bad part about where I live is my neighborhood goes dark on Halloween. I got to get my neighbors to start being cool.
They turn off their lights and they say, don't bother us.
Yep. Yeah. There's like 2 households in my neighborhood that I'm aware of that have kids. And I'm guessing they just every Halloween go somewhere else to trick or treat because our neighborhood just kind of like, I'm the only one that has Halloween decorations up. Y'all need to get on it.
I live in a pretty cool neighborhood. I mean, everybody's pretty, I mean, nobody talks to each other very much because of COVID. Yeah. Like I moved in during COVID.
Okay. So you haven't really had a chance.
Yeah. It's been kind of tough, but from what I can tell down the neighborhood, everybody like gets involved, and you know how moms are on the on the Facebook group chats like, oh, we got to clean up the weeds in the neighborhood. I can't believe we pay this much for our homeowners association.
You have an HOA.
I'm like,
that
sucks. It sucks so bad. It's not very expensive, but it still sucks.
Still, the fact that somebody tells you what to do with your house, no thank you. Sunder's Dunks, are you in Phoenix? Because of corn maze, there's one at Fear Farm out in Glendale. I went with Javon and Frank last Halloween, and it was so much fun.
Fear Farm?
Yeah.
We should do that as a company.
I'm down.
Oh,
it was fun. I had a blast out there.
No chance.
Why? Jacob, our producer, is not into
Somebody's
it.
getting dropped if I go to a house.
What?
So,
Dude,
yeah.
you're like 6'9". What are you talking
I
about?
start swinging.
Oh my gosh, this baby over
I
here.
can't picture Jacob throwing
I think it would be so
any
much fun
bombs at
for all
all
of us to do that.
I'm down. I'll do it with you. All right, Saul, it has been a shorter show today.
Yeah, that's
but
okay.
That's okay. We're down 2 men, and there's a lot of stuff that we'll be able to get into tomorrow and Friday. Friday's show is going to be really fun, you guys, and that'll be live at 2 p.m. right here again.
I won't be here for it.
You're not going to be here?
No, I'll be up in Colorado with Mike
oh, my
Luke
gosh.
from down in Tucson to go cover the Colorado-Arizona game.
Well, then maybe Friday won't be as fun as I anticipated it being. Who knows?
No, Flex also had an unfortunate situation that he had to go take care of, so he wasn't unable to join us. I know both of our guys.
It's been a rough day.
It's been a rough day, but they're going to be okay, hopefully, and they'll be back with us shortly. Flex will probably join us next week. Trust me, if we can get Flex on, maybe even for tomorrow or Friday, we will, because we want to see if he has any updates on this whole Deandre Ayton situation. And Espo should be back tomorrow. So
yeah, absolutely. All right, guys. Well, thank you all for joining us today for the chat.
Remember DraftKings.
Yes.
Make sure you use DraftKings. Promo code PHNX. $1 bet. You get $100 in free bets if anybody scores a point in an NFL game. So please use that.
Yes. And as always, thank you for supporting us here and at gophnx.com. You can follow us on Twitter at PHNX_Suns for all the updates. That's Saul Bookman.
We out.
You can follow him as Saul_Bookman. I don't have a joke today.
Come on, the underscore's where?
I never have a joke for this because I'm not Espo. I'm not as clever.
The underscore is there because your skeleton needs a place to sit.
Okay, that works. And I'm Lindsey Smith, and you can follow me at Lindsey Smith AZ, and we will see you guys later.